Okay, now we're going to finish up with the remaining pieces of information on the catalog here. First with the range boards. Now, we've talked about ranges before. This is when we were going over course compass corrections. If you were to steady up on a range, if you were to take two objects on land and line them up to be perfectly in line with one another, either to follow your way into a channel or to check the error on your compass, more realistically to do both at once, these would be the types of day boards they would use, just because they're very easy to identify and you can clearly line them up. So you can see in this example, this channel that we were following into with the buoys on either side, there were two day boards in front here, or on the island here, that you could use if you were a ship coming in from here. You could see those two day boards, and as long as they were perfectly in line with one another, that means you are perfectly in the center of the channel, and you can follow through from there. On the chart, it would be marked as such. If it's lighted, and these ones are here, they might not always be lighted. They might just be a board with no light on them. Technically, that is a day board. A day beacon is something with a light. And they'll just be marked on the chart as two dots with that dashed line between them so that you know, hey, the angle between these two is known and it's purposeful. It's placed there specifically to be equivalent and parallel to the course of the channel here. So you could follow your channel inward using the range boards. Now on the side here, here's some other day boards that aren't ranges. They're just normal day boards that you might use for various purposes, whatever they may be. They might be instructional, like special marks. Now finally, we've got these down here. These little like coastal markers here, these little buoys. This is not something that mariners are going to be using. This is not, a cargo ship is not going to be worrying about these buoys. More for marinas, for pleasure craft, for small boats that happen to be operating in an area, somewhere that doesn't require a massive channel buoy to be put in place, but just a little, probably plastic buoy placed outside of a marina to indicate some kind of information. Usually just a white cylinder with some red striping and then some kind of symbol in the center. The symbol indicates different things. You got circle, diamond, diamond with a cross. There's also a square that I don't know why they're not including it here. You can remember circle, control. C for circle, C for control. What that means is there's just some kind of regulation operating in the area. Restricted operations. That might be like a no wake zone. So if you're coming into a marina and it's shallow water that boats are moored at, and they don't want you to be like knocking them around, they'll set up a no wake zone in that marina, and they'll put a buoy like this or potentially a day board to say, hey, no wake zone. And you'll see like the danger is written here. They will have in the center written no wake zone. I think if we go to the next section, it actually shows something like that. Yeah, see here it says slow. So any circle like that is used to just indicate some kind of regulation put in place for safety purposes. Squares are informational. If you were to see one of these with a square, it would just be, you could almost treat it like the special purpose buoys. It's just directing you to some kind of information you need to look up. Diamond, danger, D for diamond, D for danger. As you can see down here, this one's indicating a rock. So this is something that you might hurt yourself if you were to ignore this one. And then finally, we've got the diamond with a cross in it. Technically, it's called an exclusion area. Just think of this as extreme danger. So while this is you might get yourself hurt, this is you could get other people hurt. So here it's a swim area. If we were at a beach, they would put these in place to say, hey, like this is a public beach. You can't take a jet ski through here. You will kill people. So it's no boats are allowed here, or just something extremely dangerous is in this area that you should avoid at all costs. This is a normal kind of dangerous. This is just regulatory control. They might have other miscellaneous things. such as direction markers. Oh, actually, yeah, that's inside of a square. So this is what I mean by the square gives you information. Things such as this doesn't need to be put in place by the Coast Guard. Buoys like this could be provided just by either local law enforcement agencies or potentially by private groups, because they don't necessarily have any legal backing. They're just placed for your purposes, though I'm certain these exclusion areas probably do have legal backing.